Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. I am really excited about doing this video because I just found out that Phil Town bought Alibaba for the second quarter. And so in this video, we're going to talk about who Phil Town is. If you don't know who he is, we're going to talk about how much Alibaba he bought in his portfolio. And then I'm going to talk about why I think he personally bought into Alibaba. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you get some value out of this, please smash that thumbs up button, fondle that button, tickle that button. But hit that thumbs up. Really helps out the channel a lot. All right, so let's just jump right into this. So Phil Town, if you're not too familiar with him, he is actually an author of the Rule 1 Investing book. It's actually the best book, in my personal opinion, for novice investors that want a strategy or a plan on how to invest. He also has a book called Payback Time that essentially tells you how to invest or what kind of maybe strategic metrics to use when you're looking at companies, how long it's going to take to get your money back when you invest in a company, and what that kind of looks like and what you should do there. And then his third book is called Invested with his daughter, Danielle, which he also does a podcast with her as well. Now, I've not read Invested personally. I definitely want to, but I've read the other two books. And Phil Town, I would consider him a super investor. He owns or manages the Rule 1 fund. Currently, he manages around $134 million. So not a small portfolio by any means. And it's grown quite a bit. I mean, since I would say late 2019, early 2020, it was around 70 million, and now it's around 134 million dollars. If you're a fan of Warren Buffett, I would say Phil Town comes along those same type of lines. He's a value investor. He's trying to find companies that have gone through an event where their prices, their stock price doesn't really reflect what the value of the company is, and he buys at a margin of safety. So he obviously finds Alibaba attractive. So there's a couple really interesting things here. So first of all, let's talk about how much he bought in his portfolio. In order to do that, let's jump on the computer so we can see from the Edgar filing, so you can see where this is coming from. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, so we're on here. How I find this is I actually go to the sec.gov site, Edgar Search, from Brad's channel, The Compounder. So shout out to you on that, Brad. But if you go there and you search for the World Funds Trust right here, and then you get all this stuff here. What I did is actually go grab this one right here. It's called the Monthly Portfolio Investment Report on Form and Port. And so grab this. This is the filing date 7/29. So 2 days ago he filed this as of June 30th. So if you click on that, it'll bring you to this bad boy here. And I gotta say, this is extremely difficult to look through. I mean, the format on this is absolutely terrible. But you can see the name of registrant is World Funds Trust. If we go down here, you can see right here, Rule 1 Fund. So this is what Phil Town manages. You can see his net assets are $134 million. And like I said, it's grown almost double here in the last 2 years. So kudos to him on that. So now we want to go find Alibaba. And let's go do a search for Baba. Here we go. All right. So you can see title of issue, description, investment, Alibaba Group Holding. Ticker symbol BABA. So obviously there's a lot of discussion out there with the Chinese stock. There's been a lot of news and discussion around stocks, including Alibaba. What if it makes sense to actually buy the BABA ticker symbol, right? That is an ADR. In fact, I'm going to do a video here in the next day or two going over why I think the ADR specifically buying into is not a big deal. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Subscribe to my channel if you want to get a notification when it comes out. But obviously, Phil Town, along with some other super investors like Monish Pabrai and others, think this is not a really big deal, and Phil Town is the same way. So he did not go out to the Hong Kong exchange. He just bought the BABA ticker symbol, which is an ADR. All right, so how much does he own? He owns 30,000 shares worth about $6.8 million. It's 5% of his portfolio. So for me personally, I want to know how much he paid for this stock, right? Because is it, is it a lower value, or obviously it's going to be a higher value than it is right now because it's dropped so much lately. But when I looked at Charlie Munger, he bought around between, looked like 225 and 230 for him. So I kind of want to know is, where's Phil Town kind of falling in? Whoops, that just went away. Let's grab that again. All right, so we have 6,834 divided by 30,000 shares. And we get $226.78. So about $227. So he actually bought the stock about the same price as what Charlie Munger did. And I do think probably Mohnish Pabrai as well. So I find that interesting. And with it trading around 195 right now, I mean, you're getting a really nice discount if you were to buy it today compared to where Phil Town bought it at. I mean, you're talking it's only 85, 86%. So you're talking about a 15% discount from where it's at. So interesting. So why did Phil Town buy Alibaba? And I put out a video about a week and a half ago, and it's be floating somewhere around the screen. And I, in that video, talked about why I think Phil Town was actually buying Alibaba. I said it was a 75% chance that he was buying Alibaba. And I'll just give you kind of the Cliff Notes version of that video. I said, first of all, I think he's buying it because Mohnish Pabrai, Charlie Munger, two investors that he highly admires, bought the stock. And sometimes he follows these guys. I mean, Seritage Growth Properties is another one of those companies where Warren Buffett, Mohnish Pabrai bought in. Phil Town also did. Guy Spear. I mean, these guys respect each other. And I don't think they blindly follow each other, but they certainly do kind of perk up when they see other people buying certain stocks, companies, and if they can understand it too, they think it's a margin safety, they buy in as well. Another reason why I think Phil Town bought into this company and actually got a lot of negative responses from this particular comment, but I said that I think Phil Town really likes Chinese stocks. I think he wants to buy Chinese stocks. And the reason why I know this is I took one of his 3-day courses last year. It's an online course. And if you're astute, when you're going through this class, he actually goes through or shows his portfolio, the Rule 1 portfolio. And if you're really paying attention, you can actually see different stocks that he has put options on or is trying to buy that you may not see in some of his 13F filings. So that's what this is, what we're seeing on the screen is the 13F filing that he did as of June 30th. And there was a Chinese stock when I took the course that he was trying to buy. I'm not going to say what stock that was. And there was reasons why he did not buy into. They actually pulled, their option contracts for that and decided not to buy into that company because of some issues that were going on there. I'm not going to say what those issues are because you'll know what that Chinese stock is. And there was, ironically, the same day I put out that video saying that I think Phil Town is buying Alibaba, he actually put out, and this is pure coincidence, I didn't even know he was going to do this, he put out a video the exact same day saying how risky he thought Chinese investments are. And so I'll put kind of a screenshot of that video somewhere on the screen as well. And so many people comment on my video and said, did you watch his video? He says Chinese stocks are too risky. He's not investing in it. And I kept commenting or replying, did you actually watch the full video? Because he is saying that Chinese stocks are risky. However, and this is a big however, if you truly understand the business, if you have someone that is on foot, is in China, and understands these business, see what's going on, talking to the people in China, really has a good idea, and you have a really strong comfort level that these companies aren't fudging the numbers, then by all means invest in the company. But if you're one that is not on the ground in China, you don't really, and you're just looking basically on paper to determine if a company is of value, not of value, that's not really a smart thing to do because so many people have been burned by Chinese stocks. Luckin Coffee was one of those companies. I've even seen other people on YouTube saying, hey, I'm never going to buy into a Chinese stock because I got burned on Luckin Coffee or another Chinese stock. So I totally understand that and total respect to those individuals. I think Alibaba, I think JD.com, I think Pinduoduo, I think there are other companies in China. Tencent is another one of those where I think they are, this is my personal opinion, I think there's less risk there than other companies that are in China personally. Alibaba is 30% of my portfolio, and I even said recently I'd be willing to get up to a 33%. And so I really think that China in general right now has a lot of tailwind behind them. Monish Pabrai said the same thing, where there's a lot of people in the lower class are becoming middle class, and they're going to get this huge wave of spending going on over the next 10 years. I mean, think about it, the US has had the strongest GDP for decades, right? And so we have so many people already in the middle class and upper class. That does grow year over year, but it's not like China. China, you're talking about 1 billion people there, or the US, you're talking 300 million people. You're talking about 3 times as many people in China. So there's more people that can actually become middle class. They're talking between anywhere from 7 to 800 million people in China. That is a lot of money that's going to be pumped into the economy over the next 10 years. And at some point, I do think China is going to catch up to the US GDP and pass them. They just have a lot more people, and say what you want about their government and the political stuff that's going on there. They are really positioning the country as a whole to really progress very, very quickly out into the future. We've seen that here over the last 2 decades. Now, as far as Phil Town goes, now 5% of his portfolio is Alibaba. Now, I didn't see any put option specifically at the end of June. He just bought that stock straight up. Now, with the stock being around 190, even dropping into the 180s last week at some point, I personally believe, and this again is just an assumption of mine, I would not surprise me if he buys more and gets it up to the 7 to 10% range overall in his portfolio. I do not think it's going to be greater than 10% because there is a certain risk there. For me personally, like I said, minus 30%, but I'm not managing other people's money. I'm managing my own money. If I actually had a hedge fund myself and I was taking care of other people's money, I would not make it more than 10%. I'd probably make it even closer to 5%. Because of the risks that are associated with the stock and the CCP and everything is going on there. But I still am very bullish on the company and the Chinese market overall. So I would just love to hear from you guys. I mean, what do you think about Phil Town buying into China, buying into Alibaba specifically, buying into the BABA ticker symbol, another ADR, not going through the Hong Kong exchange? Again, keep a lookout for that video that's going to be coming out here the next day or two when I talk about the ADRs and why I am not concerned with those overall. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Take care and God bless.